Hey everybody, and welcome to Let's Look At No One Has to Die. This is kind of an interesting Let's Look At, kind of like the Skullface Let's Look At, where we're looking at a free game, so it's not going to be subject to necessarily the same kind of criticism. This is more my kind of spotlighting on this interesting game that I saw on reddit.com/r/indiegaming that I think you guys might be interested in playing over the next couple of days, or, you know, really whenever you see the video. And this is called No One Has to Die, but in stark contrast to the title, this is a game all about making difficult decisions where inevitably someone has to die. If we look at our kind of T-table here, or the way that these branching paths kind of work out, this 4 people left alive is like our starting condition. So we have 4 characters, all of whom are alive, but they're in precarious circumstances, and basically each one of these branches represents the different outcomes of the decisions that we can make. So I've actually played through to 2 of the endings. You can only see one because I deleted my save and previously kind of botched a recording of this one right here. But I'm going to show off a little bit of this. There is a lot of on-screen text, so if you're annoyed by me reading that, this might be a video that you want to skip, but in any case, let's get started here. It's important to do this regardless. Let's skip by our opening movie here, actually. Oh god, that was a terrible example. Basically, let me set the stage now, because I actually skipped through the opening story. I guess this is to make it easier for you to play through to all the endings in the future if you want. So I'm going to set the stage here personally. We have Christina, Steve, both of these guys are employees at the Phoenix Corporation. We have Lionel, who's the CEO of this corporation, and we have Troy, who is some kind of mystical being who is here for mysterious reasons, possibly otherworldly reasons. But there's been a fire inside of this building, and whenever we run into a situation where there's a fire, there's only one person that we can save, and we kind of have this puzzle mechanic. So Christina seems to be a nice, you know, demure young lady, but maybe that's not true. I've seen her ending through to the end, but I'm not going to spoil anything. Troy's mysterious, Steve's kind of like the cocky asshole, and Lionel is the kind of faceless head of this corporation. So, on this mission here, one person has to die. Again, in stark contrast to the name, no one has to die. On every single one of these conditions, one person has to die. Now, we can choose to either save Troy or save Steve. I'm going to save Troy because I saved Steve last time and he was kind of an insufferable dick. So, you can see at the bottom here, go 1 turn without the fire or water spreading to progress. In order to finish the mission, we have to keep everybody but one person alive and stop the fire and water from spreading. So if we just let this kind of go naturally, as you can see, both Steve and Troy will die, and that'll fail our mission because there were too many deaths. What we can do is we can lock this door by Troy here, and then fire can't travel through locked doors because it's polite and it doesn't have fists, I suppose, to knock. So we can do this, and this will kill Troy, or sorry, this will kill Steve, which is exactly what we want, but if we just keep going, sadly, that'll also kill Christina. So what we have to do is find ourselves in a position where Christina lives, because she's not supposed to die during this simulation right here, but Steve dies and Troy also lives. And the way we're going to do this is actually by moving Lionel up here. He's going to hit this switch. This switch is going to cause the water to come down here. Now, just to go through all of the possible failure states, I guess, if we do this and just keep going on, Christina will actually drown because the water apparently is coming through in a violent torrent. But in any case, the way we actually do it, like set it up like so, turn on the water, turn off the water, and then Steve will burn to death, and we can proceed. As far as I know, there's no way to do that without killing one person. There's no, like, secret loophole or anything like that. So by clicking once more, that should end the mission, as you can tell by that very positive-sounding tone. And now, I will introduce you a little bit more to the characters, now that I'm not accidentally skipping through the opening cutscene. So Troy had actually begged to die before that happened. He says, "Why save me?" Even though he begged for death. Christina says, "Why did you leave Steve to die?" Our reasoning, we are the visitor here. And by the way, this all takes place kind of through the interface of like a computer terminal in the security level of the Phoenix Corporation building here. So Troy knew the security code, which allowed us to, you know, save one of them in the first place. He's the reason I could save anyone, and we need to know what else he knows. Lionel says, now we are thinking. Lionel's a little bit mysterious about and intentionally obtuse about the motives of his corporation, shall we say. So Troy says he's not going to do anything to save anyone else from here on in. Let's go for the Oh, I should have gone for the Steve ending, because I don't want to spoil anything accidentally here. But you know what? We'll go for the Lionel ending. So now Lionel and Troy are having a conversation here. And this dialogue will change every single time, depending, again, on the permutation and the combination of people that you've left alive. So we've checked the body of the 2 security guards in the room with us, and there is the security guard here. I apologize for skipping through some of this dialogue, but again, I encourage you to play through this on your own if you want to see all the endings. They're only like 10 minutes each, especially if you skip through the opening film, basically, which is not really a cutscene, but it's just more dialogue like this. So Troy killed these security guards and gave us the code, which we have used to close some of these fire doors and save people. But Troy just wants to die. And, you know, I'm probably going to oblige him and see how the dialogue between Christina, who is a disgruntled employee of the Phoenix Corporation, and Lionel, the CEO of the Phoenix Corporation, evolves as we move forward. So Troy is telling them to get out. They are all going up to the next floor. And once we get to the next floor, we'll have some more dialogue, followed by a second puzzle. There's only 3 puzzles in the game, so I am spoiling that to a certain extent. So while we're here, Lionel, could you tell me what the hell it is that this company is set up to do? Troy says, don't waste your breath, he's not going to tell you anything. Well, maybe he'd like to explain then. There's nothing to explain. That's a lie, and you know it. Apparently, in every single dialogue tree I've gone through so far, nobody but Lionel knows what the Phoenix Corporation does, which indicates to me there's some shady, like, Weyland-Yutani shit going on here. Mostly the company buys and sells things in bulk, but there's something dark going on underneath all of that. Beginning scan of floor B2, candidates Christina Troy. Meaning, one of these guys is going to die. But they're going through a little bit more of the dialogue here. I believe every time we have kind of like a stall there, that means calculations are complete, and we are going to enter our next puzzle. So, we can only save one of these people. Troy says he's behind the fire that is obviously causing all of this destruction. He knows everything, and he wants to die. So, you know what? We're going to oblige him here, because I've already seen Troy's ending, and I don't want to accidentally, you know, let a huge cat out of the bag, which Troy's ending absolutely is. Again, not to spoil anything. So what we're going to do here is we're going to hit this water. And by turning this water on, I believe that is going to allow... Oh no, I accidentally locked Troy in here. Oh, I do want to kill Troy. This is what we want. My mistake. Then we want to let it go one more room, I think. And the water is about to kill Lionel. But... Oh no, you know, I've effed it up now because now the water is going to continue to spread and too many people are going to die. I've got it now. We lock the door on Christina. We hit the switch. We let it go once. Actually, we could have just turned off the water with Christina. That would have been fine. Then we turn off the water here. So Troy's selflessly saving Lionel's life as well. And then the fire will continue to spread. And then this should be... Oh, I thought that was going to be... The door wasn't locked, so that didn't work. Let's try to turn the water on, and maybe that'll save it. Then we'll turn the water off, and that should be success. Kind of a roundabout way of getting beyond the failure conditions there. My mistake. Hopefully you have a feel for how the puzzles work, but even if you don't, they're easy to learn. I mean, if I can figure out your puzzles in 1 or 2 tries, then they're usually pretty easy. This is much more of a kind of an interactive work of fiction than it is an actual game. And normally I disparage that a little bit. You know, if you see my Let's Look At of games like Proteus, then you know that I'm much more about games being kind of gamey. Not to say I hate games that are not super gamey. But this doesn't necessarily feature that much active gameplay, but at the same time, I enjoyed it a lot, especially considering it's free. So now we have Lionel and Christina, and I'm in uncharted territory. I've never had this happen before. So he finally got what he wanted. The man was a maniac. He cost my company millions already. Your building's on fire. It seems like you have bigger fish to fry. And Lionel and Christina have found the stairs, and they are going up to our 3rd act here. So Lionel says he's probably, hopefully, going to give us a little more information on this corporation here. I didn't mean to be so callous before, it's just this will severely impact our operations. Don't you think that might have been the point? Sounds like maybe Christina's hiding something under her sleeves here, or within her sleeves here. Troy probably wanted to stop Phoenix, whatever messed up things you do here. I suppose that makes sense a little bit. Lionel says our business here is strictly confidential. And calculations are complete, I guess, so we're not going to learn too much more here. That was a much shorter spell of dialogue here, in any case. So, 2 casualties unavoidable? Oh, they're both going to die. That's super weird. I did not expect that to happen at all. That's a twist. Is this the end? Please enter your security system orders immediately. The chat system has been locked until your decision is made. Okay, this is interesting, and this kind of changes my thoughts on the game a little bit in a positive way, because depending on who you have alive here, I mean, they all have kind of like their set starting conditions. This is Christina, this is Steve, if you left Steve alive, this is Troy, and this is Lionel. So just due to the weird permutation that we've kind of had left here, both of these guys are going to die. There's no way to stop them both from dying. Like, I could lock this door, but it'll still get stopped by the fire there. Nobody can hit a switch. So you have to have either Steve or Troy left alive to hit one of these switches to save one of these people. That's super interesting. I assumed it would just be set up so that, you know, you could save one of them and continue going onwards. But this is actually kind of a unique twist in the gameplay. I'm almost a little bit sad that I'm showing it off here by accident, but I guess we'll just carry things through their natural condition here, and they will both die. And then we'll see what kind of ending we get as a result from that. This might be a little bit... Bad ending! This might be a little bit shorter of a video than I had originally anticipated. So that should be the 3rd ending. I've seen 3 of them now. Oh no, they're actually, that does not count as an ending. It just ended here. So what I guess we would want to do is keep Lionel and Troy alive, and then maybe we'd get 2 endings there, because obviously Lionel Christina doesn't really work for us. This is probably Steve and Lionel. I don't know. I guess again, if you keep Lionel alive, bad shit's gonna happen. In any case, it's kind of a shorter Let's Look At, but that's okay. If you want to fill out all of these squares for yourself, and if you were intrigued by the story to a certain extent so far, it involves a lot of potential dimension swapping, portals, rifts opening to other worlds. I know that sounds crazy, but I promise you the intrigue will grow deeper. I encourage you to check out the link in the video description and play through yourself. This might take you, 40 minutes to an hour to play through all of the stories here on a rainy day. It's really interesting. The gameplay's not super engaging, but the puzzles are, intuitive enough. But the story itself and the interactions between the characters are surprisingly well done for a game that's free. Not to necessarily shit on games that are free by any stretch of the imagination. But yes, if you're interested, you got an hour or something to play it, check it out free of charge. There will be a link in the video description. I would encourage you to click on it. In any case, thank you guys for watching. Apologies for the kind of shorter look at here and ruining one of the surprises in the game unintentionally. But as you can see, there's still a lot of possible endpoints for you here. So in any case, again, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.